Wow, we already started interrupting. Cool.
It was a legitimate question.
Shut up!
Welcome to Something Feral, the podcast where three friends watch, eat, and talk trash. We're your hosts. I'm Kate.
I'm Brianna.
I am Auntie Blaze.
Auntie. How nurturing. That'll fit well for our dumpster dive segment.
Oh.
But before we get into that, I have some gifts for you. It's fan art. Our
What?
first piece of fan art. Some would ask, Kate, does it count as fan art if your sister texts you and asks, can I make something for the pod?
It's a squirrel.
And you are there with her when she makes it, providing direction. But I say it is fan art. She said she wanted to make them
Oh my
for
God,
us.
I love that.
It says FTN, and it's a little, it's a squale.
It's a little keychain.
It's a squale. It's dead.
Dad.
Where the hell is that from? I can't remember. We used to say that all the time.
It was like the beginning of YouTube when that little girl like picked up a dead squirrel in the yard and was like trying to bring it in the house.
Oh my God. We watched that over and over.
Okay, I really want to make, and I don't know if this is like an old lady thing of me, but I want it to be like a phone charm. Dale gave me a hard time the other day and told me that like I bought this like cute little like leather strap for my phone so that it's got my wallet on. He's like,
That's old people-y.
he's like, that's very old people-y. But I'm like, but the youths are doing it. And he's like, yeah, but you're not a youth.
Ooh.
How dare he?
Yeah.
How dare he say that as someone in their
Yeah,
40s?
Dale.
Them's are fighting words.
These are so cute. Tell Panda we love them. Thanks, Panda.
Our loyal listener. But yeah, so if you have compliments or like what we're doing or want to send us fan art, really most importantly, please leave us a 5-star review, subscribe, download, share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Tell us which one is your favorite. Which
Oh,
one
tell
of
us who's your favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, and who was the ugliest when they were young?
Who is
Yes.
your favorite and who is the ugliest?
The jury's still out. You can't hurt our feelings.
Not at this point. We've been through too much.
No, you can't.
We're too
We're
too
dark.
strong. Life made us hard.
Life is, yes, in the slums that we're in.
Oh boy.
All right.
We don't live near Chipotle.
We have it really hard. There's not even a single Chipotle nearby. There is. But yet we're not allowed to walk to it.
We have walked to it every time you've wanted to walk to it.
No, we have not. We have done that one time.
It is 22 degrees out right now.
I didn't say we should walk
22
today.
degrees Fahrenheit.
Actually, I think you did suggest a walk before this podcast
You
recording.
absolutely did.
And we were like, no, thank you.
The sun was out. It's a gift in the Midwest when the sun is out in early February. Sorry for wanting to feel that sensation again. It's been so long.
It feels like 19 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, it felt like I popped a Molly when I took a little walk outside in the sunshine today. So
Whoa.
sorry for trying to help.
We thrive in the dark.
We're Victorian children inside. Brianna and I see sun and we're like,
My skin can't handle it very well, but my mind likes it.
If I'm outside and it's sunny and I don't have sunglasses, I am feral. Like, there's a picture of Dale and I on our honeymoon. And we were like, I was just overstimulated, and like the sun is always the last straw for my overstimulation.
Oh, sure. When you're too hot, I get that.
Oh,
That's
like,
real.
So Dale was like, let's take a picture. It was like our last day we were in Rome, and it was the last day, and we had this beautiful balcony thing. And he was like, let's take a picture, like last one before we like leave, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's too sunny. Like, I need my sunglasses. And he's like, no, like, let's just take the picture. I'm like, no, like, it's too sunny. I do not consent to this photo. And I was so mad about it. I don't think there's ever been a better example of just feminine rage.
Okay, no, I understand. When it's too hot, I do get fussy.
I was so fussy.
is that why you were always in like some sort of fedora or boat hat and
Always.
sunglasses like
Yes.
in all of your childhood
I can't
photos?
deal with the sun. I don't do well in the sun.
See, that's the beauty, like, of being near so much water. It's like this. Yeah, I get
Here,
really
this is
fussy
the
in the
photo.
heat. You look like a woman who, in a Lifetime movie, who's killed her husband.
Oh,
Like, look at the
Doesn't
veins.
she?
Look at the veins in my neck.
you look like Russian, like a Russian spy that is about to
Look at the veins.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, look at my first wife. She's been missing. We can't find her, and his body has been found in
He's
the
like,
courtyard.
just open your eyes. I'm like, it's too bright.
That's
So that
real.
was me like opening my eyes in a rage.
Honestly, you look hot.
I was
but
gonna say
angry.
you look great.
Oh yeah, I've never looked better than I looked on our honeymoon. I like my skin was my
everybody's
my skin was
situation,
perfect.
right?
My hair was like perfect every single day. Like every time I styled it, it was just like hitting.
And you're still like fake tan from the wedding.
Yep, I was still fake tan for the wedding.
The
yeah.
orange.
Great shape.
Wear it off. Worn off.
Wear it off.
Wore off. Ugh.
Yeah, my hair was blonde and just like my teeth were so white, like my eyebrow. It was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I hit the mic.
Look at it bouncing. Look what you
That's
did.
karma because you looked at me and you said, and I don't. You don't have a husband.
What?
What did I say?
She looked at me and she's like, you were talking about like, on your honeymoon, like after the, and you looked at me and then your mic went wrong and I was like,
I meant like
I don't know.
like my eyebrows were done, my hair was freshly done, like everything on my body was recently done is what I meant. And I know you know that.
No, I do know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
like
though.
everything was just like, I was like, I'm never going to be hotter.
Absolutely. When you just like feel and look like a supermodel because you had like not even like the trifecta, the like shaved, tan, hair, brows, nails, body, like
everything.
You were like working out a lot at that time too.
I was actually like as the most in shape I've ever been.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are, or the thinnest.
I did stay on that regimen for quite some time though. After I like kept that up until I got knocked up, I think.
Fair.
Yeah, and then I was like, haha, no.
You're like, nope. You got ripped from your middles, and you don't need to work out ever again.
That's right. My middles were torn.
That's right. You've been through so much. You can't endure the trauma of a workout again.
God,
no matter how
never.
much I tried.
No, now that I'm like in this like chronic illness phase of my life.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll pray for you.
Thank you. That's what I need. I need prayers because God, Lord, Satan knows we're not going.
Oh, come on.
Maybe we shouldn't have mentioned his name because look what happened.
Oh, we're still recording. I was just checking to make sure.
Do we want to dive into feral behavior then?
Yeah, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, so I'm thinking feral behavior is becoming more and more just my time to tell the crazy stories that I have.
You were bitten by a raccoon. It's only natural.
Yeah, I'm feral.
It set the stage for your life.
And I need to look up certain legal matters before I share more freely. So
no, yeah, nothing I've done is on that spectrum.
No, me neither.
So my feral behavior is another one of a good old original. So it was the summer I was in my senior year of college, and I went to the bank to deposit some check or something, and the bank teller was like kind of like hitting on me and gave me his number.
Nice.
But I was seeing someone at the time.
Was it Dale?
It was Dale. So I didn't really do anything with it. Like I threw it away and,
How long have you been seeing Dale at this point?
We didn't see each other. We would only see each other like maybe a few weeks the first time around. And so when Dale and I broke up, it was summertime. I was like, you know what? Like I'm young. Like I'm just going to go back to the bank and ask that guy out. Like why not?
Oh,
love that.
And so I went back in and I told him, I was like, hey, like I lost your number, but like
Oopsie.
I'd like to go out if you want to go out. And so he was like, yeah, that sounds great. So we met up for a date and we went to a steakhouse, and it was like the night started out really nice. He was really kind, like really just kind of a nice guy. But the night just kind of kept going. So we would just like kind of bar hopped, and like some of his friends showed up, and it was just like a fun party kind of like date that never ended. For those of you that have ever met me, I don't want to do that.
What?
you're not a bar girly.
I'm not a bar girly.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
And not a drinks girly.
And I'm not a drinks girly. And like, it wasn't like for me. And like, I was like, oh, this is nice. But I wasn't really feeling it. We ended up like spending the night together. Nothing happened. It was just like so late by the time, like nothing happened. And I just like, at the time I still had feelings for Dale.
Wait, who broke up with who?
I broke up with Dale.
Do you remember why?
We only broke up once, and then we got back together. We stayed together for the last 13 years, just to be clear.
Okay, well, why did you break up? Tell the people.
I don't know.
I love this.
Tell the people the truth. This is your truth.
Dale and I broke up because I decided that I wanted to go back to a different ex at the time.
The weenie.
Not the weenie, yeah.
The weenie.
In retrospect, we are very thrilled that it worked out with you and Dale.
Yeah, everybody. Dale was the person I was supposed to be with. Obviously, Dale is the father of my child and like the love of my life, blah, blah, blah. And so ultimately, like at the time, I still had feelings for Dale, and my dad at the time had just been like, we just found out that he had a lipoma. So a lipoma is like, it's a benign tumor.
The Dr. Pimple Popper fans know.
Right, yeah. But it was like the size of a mango.
Oh my God.
And it was really big, and it was on the side of my dad's head, under like right behind his ear.
Oof. Should have gone on the show.
Yeah, but it was like one of the, like you couldn't tell at first because it was his hair was covering it. My dad has kind of like longer hair. And all of a sudden my mom was like, why is your face lopsided? Because it was like distorting the size of his, like the side, like his face.
I bet.
Yeah. So like all of a sudden my mom noticed, she was like, you look just like, why do you look distorted?
Wait, so he didn't notice?
No, he didn't.
What?
That's wild.
How do you not like feel that on your own skull? Men.
Yeah. I was just about to say, he's
Sorry, what an idiot question.
older man.
Yeah.
He's a man.
And so they went to the doctor, and like it still had to be surgically removed because it was getting so large that it was starting to like press on like nerves on his face. And so like it was starting to like affect his vision. Like it was not a small thing. So I was like, hey, my dad's going to have surgery. Like I have to go home for a little bit to like help out. You know, I don't think that I would like to continue to see you. Like nothing, you know, again,
Whatever.
we went out on one date, we texted, nothing really happened. So like, I didn't really owe this person anything. And it was true. Now I may have leaned into like the dad has like a tumor thing a little bit more than I would have in like to you guys, right?
You just wanted to ease your conscience a little bit.
Yeah, I was just like, you know, my dad has a tumor on his head and like I have to go home. And that was all true. Like it wasn't like cosmetic surgery. And so we texted and he was really nice about it. And that was the end of that.
Until
a few weeks later, no, maybe not weeks. I think it was probably months. It was like a decent amount of time later. My roommate comes home and she's like, oh my God, you're never going to believe who I like ran into tonight. And she was like, the guy from the bank. And I was like, oh, what, right? Like immediately I'm uncomfortable. And she tells me that they recognize who they are. And that, like, they had this, like, sort of, like, clarity moment of, like, oh, yeah, da-da-da-da. I don't know how, because I don't think they ever met.
Yeah, wait, did she, like, come out with you guys? Or?
No. So I don't know, like, how they, like, put it together. Like,
She found him.
I don't know that. So she met him that night. She came home, and she's like, yeah, he was telling me that you, like, told him that your dad had brain cancer. And she was like, but don't worry, I set him straight.
What?
And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, he said that you like told him your dad had brain cancer. I was like, no, my dad had like a tumor. And she's like, I don't remember that. And I was like, yeah, I went home for like a couple weeks and I told her the whole thing. She's like, oh, that's right. I'm like, please don't tell me that there is a man out there that thinks that I like lied about my dad having brain cancer to not have to go on a second date with him.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he was walking around thinking that you were like a monster.
Yeah, because my roommate was like, oh yeah, by the way, that was a lie. She just wanted to get
She
back
made that
to
up.
She just forgot.
She didn't want to go out with you,
But
so she made that up.
So then she's like, he's a really nice guy though, and like since you're back with Dale, like how would you feel if like he asked me out? Like, what do you think if I went out with him? I'm like, you can't bring this man back. You can't bring him back to my apartment.
No, actually, no, again, like, yeah, you can go out with him, and here's the script you have to deliver when you see him next, making clear that you were the one who made a mistake, and I never said he had brain cancer.
Yeah. You should have said yeah so you could clear the air.
Actually, yeah, that would have been, I mean, if you really were concerned, you should have been waiting all night for them to come home.
Or like, hey, tell him you want to meet him here and we will be there sitting so that I can like tell this man that I did not lie to him and like pretended that my dad had brain cancer so that I could go out with my ex.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, that reminds me of like that one time in college when you called me, and so Brianna and my phone from the movie Dear John, the Nicholas Sparks movie with Amanda Seyfried and Channing Tatum.
Trash,
so
by the
yeah,
way.
not the best film, but we were watching it, and the whole time Brianna had said at one point, like, why would she marry Cancer Tim when she has Channing Tatum at home? And so I was like, Cancer Tim? And I was like, I'm saving in my phone as Cancer Tim. And so like it was a picture of her from like her middle school era, and it was Cancer Tim in all caps. And I was at a party talking to someone I knew. It was my roommate's boyfriend. And you called me, and I was like, oh, I'll call her back when it's less noisy. And he looked down at the phone, looked back up at me, and he was like, do you need to take that? And then looked at it again, looked back at me. He was like, I'm so sorry, your friend has cancer. And I was like, you thought that if one of my friends named Tim had cancer, that I would have saved him in my phone as Cancer Tim? What a monstrous thing to do. Also, it was a picture of Brianna in middle school, like dancing. So like,
child.
It should have been clear that like this was all silly, but this boy was also He was very nice.
Very caring. He really wanted you to take that call.
He wanted me to look out for my friend who had cancer, who I made sure to indicate in my phone as such. Psycho.
That's incredible.
I have a little feral behavior of my own. This happened actually this week since we recorded last. So I went to the library and I brought like not just my laptop, but like my journaling stuff and my book. And I really like made myself at home. And then I was like, oh, I should probably get going. My meter's going to expire. And I left very quickly, very hastily, scurried out of there, went home. The next day I went to grab my stuff and I was like, I can't find my journal.
Oh, no.
Journals, but like one is just like my crunchy one. So it's like manifesting and like positivity and like
That's
nice.
when you lost?
No, I didn't really care about that. That could be anyone's. No, the one that I thought I didn't have was that one. And my actual journal where I like journal my feelings in my life.
Oh, boy.
And I was like, how do I go about this? Because like one, it might just be like, it's in the library's hands now. That is now the property of the public library. It is just like...
It's now a book for sale.
Yeah, sale.
Rent.
To check out. What is it in Bridesmaids? It's like a very sad handwritten book. And I was like, well, do I go try to get it? And like, what do I say? Like, I'm not really like, I don't really embarrass easily, but like if anyone read it, like...
You don't want to claim it's yours at that point.
No, I'd have to be like...
It's my sister's.
My sister left her journal here. And no matter what it says in there, she is very well adjusted and wants to remain alive. So have you seen it? You know, where I really messed up is that like in all my notebooks, just out of habit, like my planners, my work notebooks, I always write my name in it. And so I was like, my name is in it though. Like if
See, that's your first like bad move. Like every journal or any like personal, like any sort of thing that has any of my like stream of consciousness on it, I don't put a name on it.
No, I will be learning from this.
Well, you left it in the worst place because that's a place where everyone loves to read. Like they're gonna read it.
Oh, dude, it would not matter where I was. If I found a journal, I'd read it.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. So I'd honestly very quickly gotten to a point where I was like, I'm either going in there and saying it's someone else's and I'm looking for them, which is super believable and very real, or it's in God's hands, it's in the public library's hands. The sad handwritten book is open to the masses. I did say I wanted to write a book and
there you go.
Be a published author, but
It's time.
I did not mean like this. Fortunately, the backpack I had with me has like this weird pocket in the back that was unzipped that I just threw it in by accident. Like when I put my stack of stuff
Thank
in
God
there,
for small miracles.
it crammed in that little pocket. Thank God. And I was so relieved. I was
Thank
like,
you, Satan. Satan too.
I'm not doing that. I'm not tempting after this. No. So yeah, thank God that's not out there. And if it is, obviously I'll deny it and I'm going to rip out the page that says my name on it. So
At least it's well written. I mean, I've read some of
That's
your
true.
middle school diaries and they're very well written and very explanatory.
you know, the problem
Emotive.
is,
Yeah.
the problem is like lately I've been pretty happy. So it's kind of boring, but like when I'd get like,
Boo.
yeah, I know. My best work is when I'm really a tortured artist.
We're secretly in love with someone else.
Maybe.
Like in middle school.
We'll have to wait and see, listeners. But I did find some old journals from like a couple of years ago where like I would, have a glass of wine and then just pour out my feelings onto the page, maybe like a glass and a half of wine. And wow, when I am sad and going through it and trying to process my feelings, there is a poet that lives within me who writes beautifully. And she shouldn't be around all the time, but she's talented. So, I mean, I've been journaling pretty consistently most of my life.
That's nuts. I like truly cannot imagine.
It's so cathartic. Like
I just like feel like I would get so like I'd get so tied up to how it looks.
I got tied up with how I wrote it, and I'm like, if anyone found this, I look like an idiot. And then it wasn't like peaceful to me.
No, right, yeah.
Because I was concerned about someone finding it.
no, that's real. And like I catch myself having those thoughts or worrying like that, but usually if you're so tortured that you need to like pour your feelings out on a page, usually you can let that go. And like again, if you have like a beverage or, theoretically
lubricant of some kind.
A mental
Oh,
lubricant.
Oh boy.
That really helps like lower inhibitions. And
I do like to paint sometimes when I'm really stoned.
oh, okay. So we're talking about legal marijuana in our state freely on the pod.
Oh, I thought we already did that.
Have we?
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Oh, I mean, I have no problem saying that I'm inebriated sometimes. If you don't want to hire me because I take an edible
You're
at
creative.
night, like, then I don't want to work for you.
Yeah, honestly.
That's how I feel. Like, if this is an employment issue because I have like 5 milligrams of weed in the evenings on my own time, and I don't do a job that requires like any sort of machinery or like safety.
Yeah, like fire me, bitch.
Right.
Or don't hire me,
If
bitch.
that's gonna affect my career, I don't want to work for you.
No.
I think that's a really reasonable take.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what the difference between me taking like a 5 milligram of marijuana versus like,
Having a glass of wine.
yeah, to me, it's the same thing.
I mean, I agree. I feel
And
that
as
way.
a mother, there's a lot of stigma, and like wine mom was like a big deal. And like, I think the wine mom trend is definitely on its way out. Like,
Thank
I think, yeah, it was a rough period.
It was just weird.
I mean, I get wanting to have a little mental lubricant before parenting.
No, totally. But it seemed very much like the wine mom stuff, like always, and I say this as a non-parent, like it was not thinly veiled in that it seemed very dark.
It was dark. Yeah.
It was like mommy needs her special juice to get out of bed in the morning. I was
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't think it should feel like that.
No, like I actually really have a fun time having, like, I'm usually not stoned around Gillian. Like
but I would always be way too nervous to ever.
Well, we have like
that.
we have a rule in our house, and it is that there always has to be like one sober parent.
Yeah, of course.
That's just like the rule, and that's like the same
That should
whenever
be.
we're on. Right, like
Yeah,
there's
tragedy strikes.
right, yeah, and like to be fair, neither of us are ever like Dale and I are never really we're not like big time like we're out of our minds, right? So
Yeah.
like that's just not the setting we're in. It's actually really fun to be a little stoned with Gillian too. Like it really helps me play. Like it lets me like kind of be a little bit
Let loose.
Yeah, let loose and like just sort of be more kid-like.
I love that. Yeah, make noises, be weird.
Yeah, and legal marijuana is a great parenting aid when used properly.
I think that makes sense. I mean, Blaze used to always tell me when we lived together, like, I don't know why you don't use it more. It
Yeah.
helps you de-stress. Like, if it were me, I would do this all the time. And like, that's what my sister says too. She's always like, an edible a day keeps my sister at bay.
That's so true. She is a doctor. Well,
Yeah, she is. She is
okay, that's what I thought.
Dr. Panda.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, yeah, so I personally don't have an issue with it from an employment perspective, because if you don't want to employ me for that, fine, I don't want to work there. And then 2, it makes me a better parent.
Good for you. Yeah. And it's like that brain lubricant, like you said, and like with writing, like with journaling too.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have any inhibitions when you have a lot of feelings and you try some legal marijuana. And, you know, if you're really going through it, if you have a glass of wine and illegal marijuana,
Right.
which I've not done in a long time.
And shout out to my therapist who always encourages me.
Yeah, both my therapist and my mom are fans of the pod, so I am untouchable. So shout out to both of you. We'll call you Melissa and June.
Ooh.
That sounds like an indie band name, Melissa
Yeah.
and June.
It sounds, no, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a line of home decor at Target.
Ooh, well, Melissa and Doug, that's probably what you're thinking of.
Oh, is
Melissa
that a
and Doug
thing?
is a child, like a kid's play, like line that Target does.
I would never know that.
Well, you're not a mama.
I'm not a mother. You don't have a husband. You're not a mother.
Speaking, that makes me want to dive into dumpster diving so bad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can jump in. Well, let me, if you know you're getting some cravings, allow me to mitigate those immediately. This was a Dr. Panda recommendation that I pull this content. My grandma had like an old recipe binder where she'd like cut things out. There's a little prayer in here. She was very Catholic. But some of these things in here. So first of all, my initial hope was to read from these 2 booklets she has. One is called 10 Cakes Husbands Like Best. The next one is 12 Pies Husbands Like Best. But honestly, the pies looked really good. There was
Like no hating on the
yeah,
pie.
I was like, I can't hate this. This apple pie with like a crumbly top looks incredible. And I
Right.
would like to make that for somebody.
Well, when you're not allowed to get a divorce, you know, you got to be good at cooking.
Yes. So anyway, but yeah, those looked too good. But then there is one 500 Ways to Make Tasty Sandwiches. It is from 1951.
Oof.
This thing. A lot of these should be in the trash, like, but it's here in my hands. Okay, this one sandwich, I'm in the section fillings and spreads. This one is ham and peanut butter.
Ew.
You use a half cup Smithfield ham paste and a third cup peanut butter.
What is ham paste?
I have no idea, and I'm glad I don't know.
I don't want to Google ham paste.
Me neither.
What do you think you do with these two things? Well, you blend them, and it serves 4 to 6.
Wait, that's it?
No, that's just one of the spreads for a sandwich. There's another spread just beneath it, ham and raisin.
Why are we mixing ham with all these things?
There's a lot of that in here.
Wait, ham and raisin, like, what do you mean by spread? I don't, like a dip?
Well, 1 cup minced cooked ham, 1/2 cup seedless raisins, 1 teaspoon capers, mayonnaise to moisten. It gets somehow worse. Grind all ingredients together and add mayonnaise. Serve 6. Yeah, dude.
Wait, there's no, like, do you just put it on bread? I don't understand.
Well, this, again, I'm in the
Why is it all
fillings
ground
and
together?
spreads section. There's different sections.
You gotta spread the ham over the ham, apparently.
And the peanut butter.
You know what? Okay, the only thing I'll say about pork and peanut butter is I do love...
That's not what this is. Like Thai food? Yeah, that's not what we're talking about here. Yeah, don't give this pamphlet any cultural praise, or if you think there's anything in here that isn't just grossly American, you'd be wrong. Gosh, there's one in here, let me find it, but it's a sardine sandwich.
No.
I want you to guess what's in a sardine sandwich.
Sardines.
Yeah, but like what would you, okay, like if you,
Mayonnaise. There's absolutely going to be mayonnaise in whatever you're going to tell us. Or sour cream.
Seems like the binding element in all of these sandwiches.
so the hot sardine sandwiches, you would think like, okay, certain restaurants, they'll serve like anchovies and toast or like whatever. So I was thinking it would be, like salt, garlic,
Capers.
olive oil, capers.
Don't say
you would
peanut
think
butter.
You would want it to be that.
Oh my God, if she says peanut butter, I'm going to vomit.
No, there's no peanut butter, but there is ketchup and grated sharp American cheese.
Ew.
That's in addition to the milk, the butter, the flour, and the salt. You basically just like mix everything together, but then you put the sardines on top of the like wet ketchup spread. Yeah. Unclear if my grandma ever made this. I don't think that was really up her alley, but I don't know. I mean, I've got recipe books aplenty, so Maverick, you lucky guy.
That needs to go in the trash. You know why they probably blended everything up? Wasn't there a lot of poisonings back then because you couldn't get a divorce? Like, you'd blend it all up. You'd sprinkle a little,
Oh, like this is actually
arsenic.
Like a code in here on like how to murder a husband.
Exactly. Blend up everything.
I'd buy that book if I was a housewife in the 50s.
What it really is how to get divorced.
I gotta just like start looking to see if my grandma which it seemed like they had a loving marriage, but like maybe someone like passed this to her, like she inherited it from someone who didn't. Like there's like red underlines on certain ingredients. Yeah. It's like a secret code on how to kill.
Imagine if we uncovered something like that.
That would be great content. I mean, again, R.I.P. They did have a seemingly loving marriage, so.
Well, she didn't
that throws
kill
a wrench
him.
in that theory. No, she didn't. She died first.
Right.
So.
Exactly. She's in the clear.
All right, I do want to read. I found a really great recipe.
Oh,
in the
take it
book.
away.
This is ham and prune sandwiches.
Why is everything mixed with ham?
A half a cup cooked prunes, 1 can deviled meat.
What is that?
No idea.
What is deviled
2
meat?
tablespoons tomato ketchup, few drops Tabasco sauce, dash of salt, 2 tablespoons chopped sour pickles, 2 tablespoons minced parsley, 2 tablespoons minced onion, 10 slices of bread, buttered with lettuce. Remove pits from prunes and cut into pieces. Add next 7 ingredients and blend lightly.
Oh no!
Why?
Spread between slices of buttered bread with lettuce between each. Cut into desired shapes.
That's if you want your husband in that bathroom all night, so you don't have to deal with him.
Ham and prune blended together.
No,
My God.
It's a great way to keep your husband away from you.
This
Yeah.
sandwich, this is absolutely a guide to killing your husband.
No, I look forward to spending more time with this.
Let's decode this horror book.
Yeah.
I'm never eating again. Hey, at least it's not eating corpses like the Victorians. They've come a long way from that book.
Yeah, like this isn't a Donner Party cookbook.
Yeah, like at least you know, there's some growth.
I like that you're like, at least there's no human body parts in there. And what do you mean the Victorians? Do you think that people just ate people for fun?
I thought that was a fact.
No.
Maybe not the Victorians. Maybe what were the people before? No.
During the dark times?
The Dark Ages?
No, it was like recently. It was the Victorians. I thought they were eating corpses from Egypt. I'm sorry, mummies. I
need to know what sources you got this from.
Look it up.
I thought you were thinking about like the Donner Party, or like, you know, when things went wrong in a boat and they had to like...
No,
you know.
it was like
I think I know what you're talking about.
Exhumed all those mummies from Egypt. The like rich Victorians were eating them because they thought it was like
vitality or something like that.
Oh, and they're like, these people are royal. Like,
yes.
Oh no, that's so offensive. That's so bad.
So that's what I'm comparing that cookbook to. I don't know why, but I'm like...
Because it sounds about as appetizing as a mummified body part.
Well, in my head, I'm like... How have we survived this long? But I'm like, oh yeah, back then people were eating mummies, so I guess we can eat our ground up liver with raisins. That's better, I guess.
I don't know. It's gotta be really bad karma to eat mummy parts though. Like that's offensive, and also like I wouldn't want that on my soul.
Icky.
No.
Okay, wait. This reminds me of something. So when I got pregnant, I ordered a baby book about like eating healthy and like nutrition and different things. And these are some of the quotes that I highlighted from this book that I feel like fall into this category. You've hopefully made an honest start at eliminating some avoidable toxins from your lifestyle. If you fill up on colorful and fiber-filled whole foods with lots of phytonutrients, you'll find it's actually challenging to gain fat.
What?
This is for pregnant people?
This is for pregnant women that are like looking to like eat nutritiously.
Wow, a hearty dose of shame from the start.
I'm not done.
Oh.
Tums and similar antacids are basically candied chalk that absorb and neutralize stomach acid. Antacids do nothing to address the underlying issue. If you've tried tapering down on the wine and you can't, and you find yourself justifying it by saying things like, but in Europe they drink wine, please call that addiction specialist you didn't call last week.
Oh.
That's written. Like, that's published in a nutritional guide.
Again,
wow.
like, also, if someone really had a problem and was trying to cut back on drinking, this Shameful root book doesn't seem like it would really help. Yikes.
Yeah. So sometimes new books are bad too.
Yeah.
Just when you think we've come a long way. We haven't.
No.
At least we're not eating mummies, so I guess we have.
Thanks to the internet, we have a full spectrum of humanity at our fingertips, and some of it's really beautiful, and some of it's not.
No.
Which is a really nice...
On to our next segment.
A nice transition.
Treasure.
Yeah.
You can take it away with that lady that we were talking about who's having an affair and has a coaching program.
There is a woman that was part of an infidelity or an affair, outside of her and the boyfriend, quote unquote, I don't know what to call him at this point, but like they were both married. But like she basically created an LLC and a business to help coach people that are in affairs, not like post-affair, like,
and also not people whose partners are having affairs or had affairs, like
as the person committing the infidelity. Yeah.
Bring back shame.
Yeah, no, we use shame incorrectly in our society. Like, think about all the people who like have actually truly terrible things happen to them and like stay silent because they're ashamed. That's not me blaming them. That's like the system that makes them feel all that shame. Like, that's so common. But then this woman is just running around with a coaching
Can
business.
you imagine? Like, we need to give her, like, think of just like the Scarlet Letter. Like, let's go back to like, we don't need that level of shame, but like in how many years have we gone from like, you are suspected of like showing a man your ankle, harlot, to founding a business on like having an infidelity,
Being a homewrecker.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go backwards
No,
in any way.
I'm just saying, but like, what a shift.
We should brand people that do this, is what Brianna's saying.
Yeah, I want to be clear. Like, no one should be jailed for this, but
No, just branded.
I do think this woman deserves to feel some shame. And
She
like,
deserves a Scarlet Letter.
I actually think that's like too punk. Like, that's too cool.
It's too cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I just feel like watching her like dancing badly. And the captions were like, your husband was lying when he said he was here. He was with me. And so I was like, oh, you just feel so confident to put that on the internet. And again, I want to like, this is why coaching, like anyone can be a coach, and she proves that. Like there's no regulation in coaching.
Also, like coaching what?
Yeah, and like what are you
That was my
coaching?
question. Is she teaching them how to get away with it, or is it more coaching them how to deal with the situation they're in? Like, what is the coaching? What are the lessons?
I don't
What
know.
are the lessons?
Oh, I think based on what I saw, which was, again, pretty cursory, I didn't really spend a lot of time with this, but it seemed as though it was just like a lot of like, here are ways I can skirt accountability and seem like the victim in this situation. It's like, well, you're not, I mean, you just objectively aren't. And it was like, here's some common misconceptions about affairs. Like, and I was like, who cares? That doesn't matter. You're doing a bad thing. And like, that's fine. Like, I'm not saying you need to be punished by the law, like some people in this room seem to think. But you shouldn't feel empowered to put that on the internet and ask other people to give you money so you can tell them why they should continue ruining someone else's relationship.
Okay, wait, here it is. The Google AI overview of the name of this podcast is a podcast episode, or
She's a podcast too.
yeah, she also has a podcast.
Oh wow.
Any ding dong could start a podcast.
True.
So the episodes this particular episode, this is a summary of one of the episodes. It explores the experiences of being a betrayed spouse and another woman. The episode examines whether labels like other women and betrayed spouse help or hurt healing.
They should hurt because it's bad.
yeah, you
they
did a
should
bad
hurt.
thing.
The episode explores the roots of infidelity, unresolved trauma, and finding constructive paths forward.
Oh my God, like stop doing it. That's the lesson. Stop doing it.
I mean,
Stop doing it.
I will say, I could see there being value if someone had, like, let's say you had a really rough childhood and there were no stable relationships around you, and you fall into these like bad patterns and you want to break them to be a better person. Like, sure. But I don't think the person doing the coaching, like, you should go to therapy, and you should not see an internet coach who dances about how proud she is to be the other woman.
Yeah, I can see it being also for women who like found out they were in one or the other
Totally.
woman and they didn't know.
because you sometimes
Like a
they
support
don't
bag.
know
Totally.
that they're like in a relationship or involved with somebody that's in another relationship.
Yeah, like I'm okay with like a support group. Like
Right.
I don't think there should be like there's no coaching. It's just like supporting. But like this woman's like, I'm doing it. I like doing it.
And I want your money.
Yeah, and I should tell you how this is fine.
And how I'm the victim.
This bitch is gonna need a +1 to heaven.
She also, wait, Brianna, you were saying, sorry, say what you said again.
I think, based on what I've read about the summary, is that this is also like she coaches couples and women on like how to ensure that your relationship with your partner continues meaningfully after the affair.
Right, but how is she qualified to give that advice?
Oh, because she's been through it, basically.
Right, but
But
she's
still in it. Like she's still committing the crime of being a slut.
she's the other woman, like, as she calls herself.
Yeah.
Like,
We don't say sluts anymore. We should bring that back. Bring back sluts.
I don't agree. You guys,
Sluts and whores.
We need
It's
to
your
have discussion.
square.
No, you guys are squares. You want to punish people for having affairs. You want to
No.
start slut shaming again. I don't want to do either of these things. I just don't want this person on the internet.
Not all
With a
sluts.
platform.
These type of sluts.
This slut.
A regular slut that's just walking
There are
around being
good
a slut
sluts.
is good.
Yeah.
Most sluts are good.
Yeah.
I'm pro slut.
No, me too. There was a time in my life where I perhaps would have identified as such. Other people had identified me as such. But I wasn't doing this.
Right. This is not the slut.
was hurting no
the
one.
sluttery we approve of.
Right. Because we are the moral authority. We assign the scarlet letters here.
The worst part is she's on there like taunting this wife with like everything like he's ever lied to her about. And I'm like, you are a demon.
Yeah, that's awful.
Also, wait, this happened 10 years ago and she's still talking about it?
I
Get
thought
a
she,
life.
no, I assumed she was still in this relationship.
I thought she was too. She's
Yeah. And that's why she's being sued by this woman because she's like, stop taunting me on the internet, you freak.
This TikTok is... All right, actually, I'm going to send this to one of you because I don't have TikTok and this is too hard. So she's like trying to like get rid of the shame around like infidelity.
but as the person committing
Correct.
the wrong act, not as the person who is like embarrassed
She's
or
not the
feels
Shania
ashamed.
Twain in this situation.
She is not the Shania Twain in this situation.
So I'm reading this TikTok. So she's saying, if you had told me 3 years ago I'd be openly discussing my affair from over a decade ago, I would have laughed. Okay, so you're right. It was over a decade.
Loser.
Society labeled me the homewrecker, the villain in someone else's story. Then plot twist, I married him. Back then, I was drowning in shame, carrying the scarlet letter of the other woman. Ooh, the scarlet letter. Okay.
Right. See, I was right on.
No, you were not, because she likes it.
Like the weight around my neck. Society labeled me the homewrecker, the villain in someone else's story. You already said that. Dum-dum. Instead of hiding, I started questioning why we shame people seeking connection. Not the fairy tale ending society expected, but my real, messy, complicated truth. Why do we force complex human relationships into simple boxes? My breakthrough came when I stopped apologizing for my story.
My breakthrough came when I stopped apologizing.
Where personal growth flourishes in the light of understanding. If you're tired of carrying society's labels, you're in the right place. Our community has become a safe harbor where judgment takes a backseat to compassion, where your messy truth is welcome. Let's explore your truth together. No judgment, just understanding.
Well, we're judging.
I'm only going to say this once. There is a difference between meeting someone while you are in a relationship and identifying that you and that person have feelings and like that you have a stronger connection than what you're in currently, and then making the adult decision, ending your current relationship as an adult, and then building a new relationship after that.
Right.
That is one thing. Having an affair behind your partner's back because you don't have the ability to stand up and say your truth, those are not the same thing. Seeking connections and like finding someone that like you want to marry and that is really the partner that you want to have while you're in a different relationship, fine. Okay, no one's shaming you for that.
No.
What you're getting shamed for is hiding it and lying about it and then like deceiving someone and making a fool out of them.
And then taunting.
And then taunting
years
them on
later.
social media publicly. That's what you're being shamed for.
100%. And also, I want to set aside any conversation about like safety or like, you know, being able to leave and like
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what we're talking about here. Like, broadly speaking, like this is the year 2025 and for now, you can get a divorce and you can leave a
Right.
marriage. Like we can open our own bank accounts. Like we can work.
Right.
So like,
We're not poisoning our husbands with spreads.
right. So this woman, like because she could leave and she did, but not before doing it in the worst, most irresponsible, immature way possible.
As an adult woman, if you can't understand the difference between those two things, you do not deserve to be making money off of people.
Exactly. That's my biggest problem is that people are giving her money. First of all, stop. Come talk to us.
Join our messy side.
We'll set you straight.
No, it's honestly, it's like what we've been talking about. Bring back shame.
Bring back shame.
Shame for the right people. Yeah. Right now, we're shaming the wrong people, and we need to redirect our energy, team, society.
To the sluts. The bad sluts.
The bad sluts.
The bad sluts. Oh no, we're all like good sluts here.
Correct.
It's like our version of Wicked. There's like good witches and bad witches, good sluts and bad sluts.
I would agree with that. The duality of sluts.
The duality of sluts.
Jasper would have loved that.
The slutty behaviors for after marriage. He wants to bring back the Scarlet Letter.
Yeah, I mean, he's down for this.
I do not believe in the duality of a harlot woman, a strumpet, or as I do believe the word you're using to describe them is slut. Now, there is only one kind of acceptable woman, and she is at home pouring me a nice sweet tea with a very liberal portion of my favorite brandy. I will enjoy that with a meat spread that she has prepared for me, and I needn't concern myself with its ingredients.
Why are you so good at it?
Oh God.
I'm not sure. Also, again, you guys, the more conversations we have about Jasper Ely, the more I'm forced to think about Twilight and how they just sent this Confederate general to high school. Like, again, were they just like learning about the Civil War? They were in the North.
Who
so,
was feral too? Like he couldn't contain himself
Yeah,
if someone
exactly.
got a paper cut.
Absolutely feral.
So
Right.
they unleash this feral racist in a high school, and like, does he just have these meltdowns in social studies class? Like that's what I'm picturing. They're like, yeah, and then thank God for President Lincoln who signed the Emancipation Proclamation. He's just like, no. Like how is he handling this? And why wouldn't this family, okay, like I get that they don't want to kill because like they don't feel that that's right. Like fine, okay, they could solve every cold case in the country like quietly. They don't even have to draw attention to themselves. I know that's not the rule. Like they could be quietly solving every cold case and like preventing people from getting hurt and killed, but instead they're just going to high school, just sending these 100-year-old Confederate generals to school
Just to play pretend so Carla couldn't be a doctor.
Yeah, so he could be with his foster kids who he sets up on dates with each other. Eternal dates.
It's so fucked. And we love it.
All right, let's talk about some treasure.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Eat the chocolate. Don't be a bitch.
I won't. Out of spite, I'm not going to have it. I'll show you.
I want to talk a little bit about the Grammys, which were yesterday. Or a couple days ago. I'm usually not like I didn't watch it, just to be clear, but I did really love some of the performances that I've seen clips of, and like it was honestly some of my favorite people. Like I love Chappell Roan.
It was a good year.
It was so much fun seeing her perform, and like
she's amazing and so talented and so cool. I love her so. And her speech about like, she's always drawing attention to important issues. Like, yeah.
She's, I think, a Miley.
Yeah, totally. Like, musicians should have healthcare. Sorry, hot take, crazy.
Right.
I couldn't help but notice the clown outfits that they were wearing, and I was like staring at their feet. I'm like, do they have big shoes? Do they? They didn't.
They didn't commit.
How could you dance with clown shoes on? Their feet looked very small and petite.
Well, you, one, are the pioneer of that fashion because you are the jester, and two, you could tell them a thing or two about dances with big feet, couldn't you?
Yep.
She couldn't.
She couldn't.
No, I love the jester chic energy.
Yeah.
Again, pioneer blaze.
But like I also, something else that I think is really cool about Chappell Roan is like, and especially her winning Best New Artist was, and I heard it somewhere, it was like, it takes 10 years to become a Best New Artist.
Oh, yeah.
And like how much she's actually like been in this, and it's just, she happened to get where she was because she worked hard, and like, but it took a really long time. And I think it's a great reminder
to us,
for us all. Okay.
Yeah. There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that there's something that I take a lot of comfort in with that.
No, 100%. I love her. Again, Brianna, congratulations to you and all the haters. Kendrick Lamar showed you again that like if you're a hater and you persist, nothing can slow you down.
That's right. You know what? Me and Kendrick are never wrong.
So the track record so far for you both has been very excellent.
Correct. Yeah. Like I'm never wrong about anybody.
You have a very good gauge on people. I'll give you that.
I don't think I've ever been like, oh, that person's a rat, and they're not a rat.
Yeah. You have a good rat radar.
I do.
She finds them too.
Yeah. No, they like me. I attract incels.
Yeah. We all attract different kinds of rats.
But we've talked about blazes.
Oh, one of our fans, and not one of my close friends who listens, one of our fans suggested that we do eventually she called it Battle of the Boyfriends, and suggested it would be like a March Madness style bracket.
That is a great idea.
We got to do that. She was like, you could do it for like March Madness next year.
Oh my gosh.
She was like,
Oh my
I was like, I don't know if I can
Why
commit
not this
to
year?
Yeah, next year.
You guys, this year,
What?
What?
I just don't. I don't have a real reason not to.
You don't.
I was like, we really have to think about it. We do all this planning.
I was like,
No,
next year.
it takes no planning. We have the initials.
I
We
can
know
do
what we
this
need
right
to do. We could literally look at this wall. It's just dying for some Sharpie.
That's true. Oh, God. Well, I mean, to be clear, Blazes will win. But I would be curious to see who makes like the Elite Eight and the Final Four.
Oh, yeah.
On like, are we like, how are we rating them? Like, what are the
That's
categories?
True. Yeah, what are the categories of bad? Well, and at the end of the day, like March Madness, it's not about like the best team. It's just about who keeps winning, right?
Right, yeah.
So like, or in our case, keeps losing. So I don't know. Yeah, like what is the scale? Like,
And are we talking like, what are we
Who even
qualifying?
qualifies?
Right, yeah. What
Yeah.
is the qualification? So listeners, we need your feedback. We need your input. What are the categories for this? It's really trash or treasure. The trash or treasure bracket.
Yeah, the ultimate trash or treasure bracket.
But just trash.
But no treasure. There's no treasure and it's all trash. Men are trash. You can delete that.
No.
No.
What an uplifting conversation this is.
Well, that's why we have to get into dumpster dive, and we have to hear your dream journal.
Oh, yeah. We'll analyze them.
Well, we didn't do that well last week.
Yeah, you kept saying you had all these thoughts, and I don't think any thoughts were said.
No thoughts were said.
It was just like, I can't.
I really couldn't. I tried so hard because that was like some of the feedback we got is like, we want to
dissect.
Yeah, like we want to hear more about the like dissection of the dreams. And I was just like, I can't.
Well, this one's really funny, and I think you'll have thoughts. So on that note, we are moving into dumpster dive, and I have a new dream that I dreamt literally last night, the night before we were recording this. And once again, the two of you are in it. And
Never
stars.
a good sign for you.
No.
Okay, here I go. So in this dream, Kate, Brianna, and I were walking around town in what looked like the early 1900s, and we went into a record store. At night, this record store turned into a restaurant/nightclub that played jazz music. And this particular night, they were having a burlesque show.
Sluts. Good sluts.
Good sluts.
Kate and I were asked to perform in this burlesque show later that evening, along with some other random man at this shop.
Wow.
The red flags are abound.
None of us wanted to do it, but the owners of the shop forced us into doing it somehow. So we went backstage to get our costumes, and what they had for Kate and I were like two fluffy pink and red Furby costumes with tinsel on them.
It was the biblical angel.
Hell yeah. No, this is, like the biblical angel Furby I sent you.
Yeah. And the random man had to wear a women's trench coat in all black.
What defines it as a women's trench coat?
It had like a petticoat underneath. I have it pictured in my brain.
Okay.
And men's and women's coats, like, you can tell. Like,
it was like...
They're cut differently.
It was the 1900s, so, it was like a petticoat.
Okay. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay.
So this man was super short and was complaining that his outfit was dumb for a show like this. We were all like, what kind of show is this where Kate and I were dressed up like Furbies with no heads and a random tiny man in a black trench coat? Brianna somehow didn't have to perform in the upcoming show.
Hell yeah.
And she was giggling the entire time while helping us into our outfits.
Because I will not do things I don't want to, even in Blaze's dream.
I love that we were recruited for a drag show. This is awesome.
I'm too much of a sourpuss.
So the music started to play, and we all walked onto the stage. And then the curtains, which were somehow feathers, grabbed us by the arms, and we were pulled backstage into the dark. Then I woke up.
No, what you have just described is what I want to do for my baby shower.
Oh, okay. Baby shower.
I am not with child, but I've been thinking about, no one likes going to a baby shower. They're all the worst. Like, we can all agree. There's yours. Okay, yours was cool.
I want it on the record.
Okay, yeah, no, Brianna had a really fun and cool baby shower, but it was because it wasn't a baby shower. Like, you said, come to this party. There are only our friends invited. Open bar. We are not opening gifts. Mm-hmm. And there are no baby games. Like, one way we were throwing, like, plastic baby dolls at each other.
There were like my very dear friend, she has thrown like a few of our like groups like baby showers, and like they're always like baby themed games, but they're really fun. Like one of them, it wasn't at mine but at a different shower she bought baby dolls and dissected them, so like the heads and the arms and the legs were all removed, and we had to like go on a scavenger hunt to find the limbs.
Oh no, wow.
I think that's cool. And
it was but it was really fun. It was a race.
Okay.
And there's like drinks are
and
served.
Everybody's drunk. Yeah, it was really.
So you just want to do that, but dressed as a Furby.
As a biblically accurate angel Furby, but also there's an element of like a burlesque or drag show. Like that sounds really fun. And I've thought for so long, I'm like, a good theme would be vengeance. And like I could make everyone watch me open like spoons, like in silence.
Wow.
And like you would be in your jester costume.
Dancing.
Like dancing, but also forcing people to perform poems about me on the spot.
I could do that today.
See, it would be fun for us.
I have this costume burned into my brain that I dreamed.
Beautiful.
You would love it.
I know.
And you're the only person that can make it.
Oh, seamstress, here I go.
You're a prophet. This is what we're doing.
Wow, I prophesized your baby shower wish.
Yeah, the costumes are really elaborate and they're going to take a long time to make. I don't plan on getting pregnant anytime soon.
Start
so,
now.
I have time.
You have time. Oh my gosh.
Brianna will wear the black trench coat.
Yes.
My theme doesn't have to be vengeance. It just has to be chaos.
I love that.
Yeah, because I would tire of it. The problem is, like, with vengeance as the theme, making it as boring for everybody else. Like, I would still have to, like, open, like, baby spoons, baby stuff. But now, the Furby, the biblically accurate angel Furby burlesque drag show, now I'm interested. And I'm excited. Dare I say excited?
So, what does this dream say about me? Let's dissect. Who is this man? Why was he with us?
I also just love the transition from like the early 1900s to just like
Furbies.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've got some profit action going on.
I think you yearn for the stage. You yearn to perform.
I was on the stage as a youth, but I can go back.
You're ready to make your return. She's been away too long.
We did a beautiful dance for the people of the record store nightclub.
And we can do it again.
And get rid of the man. Who is he? He's not alive. Oh, he's not.
Was he also pulled away by
we get to do a crime too?
He's not invited. That's what I was trying to say. He was not pulled away. He actually wasn't on stage when this happened. So,
well, he was whining about his costume and being a little bitch. So we decided to axe him.
We actually loved our costumes. That's why we went on stage so quickly. We were like, wow, we look pretty good.
No, again,
so this will be fun.
Asked to be to
you
perform.
were chosen.
We were
but
chosen.
Not Brianna.
Not me.
I like to think that you were directing.
You know what
this.
though? Like, I feel like that makes sense when you think about our dynamic though, because like if there were two people that were gonna go up on stage, it would be you two, and I would just be like, no, I'm
and
good.
we
Just refuse.
could put on a show, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
We could.
I believe so.
Yeah, an improv.
We have. So let's move on to our final segment of the night, which is Feral Trash Night.
Yeah, okay, we should, well, we can't watch it because it's not out yet, but I look forward to watching the Alec and Hilaria Baldwin show. That's going to be trash indeed. But what's on now?
Weren't we going to put on Twilight just for, like...
That would be nice.
Yeah,
Refresh
just
our
a,
memory.
a refresher on the content.
Which season? Season.
Okay,
Which...
Twilight is a TV... Wait. I know they're coming out with, like, a weird Edward animated series, but it would be great as an HBO show.
They did that. It's called True Blood. Complete with the Southern chaos.
Suck it.
I
loved when he said
dude, Alexander Skarsgård and
Oh
True
my
Blood.
god, that show is great.
Yum.
Treasure.
That's where the lobster suit came from.
Lobster suit.
We've been teasing that one. Next episode, because otherwise Blaze is going to yell at us. So we're going to watch Twilight, but what are we eating tonight, ladies? Chipotle?
No, thank you.
Yeah, where can you get a salad at this hour?
Like lots of places like Leo's.
I could fuck up some Leos.
I can also drive because I'm sober.
I am too.
I am not.
Good for you.
You're not going to be in like 20 minutes.
No, I did not eat this. So only Brianna is
Yes,
at risk.
I'm the drug addict in the group.
Drug. No one used those words.
Wow. She read that shameful book and now
Yeah,
she's
wow,
shaming
that-
herself.
I know, you got to put that weird pregnancy book down.
I know. I'm not pregnant.
No, none of us are with child. And also, I think you need to steer more towards the Furby drag show and away from that shame book if you're thinking pregnancy.
Okay, fine. It's all about mindset.
I can give really good advice to mothers.
What?
Let's
Why are you
wrap
looking
up.
at me? Oh,
You're the one that's yelling at us to wrap up.
I'm the one who always forgets the wrap up. What is it? Oh, okay. So that's our show. Wow. Wowee. That was hard.
Kate's miming.
I'm
a
trying to help.
typewriter.
What is that?
Our email, our
Oh, my brain
Instagram,
went
our...
typewriter, huh? Okay.
Why did your mind go typewriter?
Because you would use fingers
You're
like
finger
this.
poking.
That's how people type with typewriters.
Oh my god, no, first of all, I was using all my fingers and I'm sorry that I have such long, dainty, delicate hands and beautiful nails. Anyway, I was trying to help. You can share where they can find us.
I appreciate your help. You can find us at Something Feral FTN on Instagram and Something Feral Pod on TikTok and Instagram. No!
This is your scarlet letter.
yeah,
I
you want to bring back
deserve
shame.
Bad slut.
Bad slut.
For being stupid! Oh, for God's sake. You can find us at Something Feral Pod at Gmail and TikTok and I don't know.
Something feral. FTN.
On Instagram. And send us your feral stories. We want to hear them. We'll read them. We'll do some funny voices. Send them. All right. Well, off to get feral. See you next week.
Bye.
Lord. Lord have mercy.